Detoxification is an art. And you guys will learn this through your own issues like this guy. Street magic, you're just part of a process that is an art form, because there are cases like yours where we have to back up with the lymph, we have to move a little to the right maybe, but keep those kidneys going, keep the adrenals going for those kidneys, and slow way down on the lymph system, and that should back up. Put yourself in some salt water here. Get you a salt water bath. Be very helpful there to cooling everybody down. If you have to, take some bicarbonate, sodium bicarbonate in the mouth. You can call in here for the recipe, but when you're having this bad of symptoms, call in Street Magic or anybody else out there that the symptoms explode on you, because it is possible. And always remember, when you're working with someone like that their lymph systems are in trouble, but they're in trouble because of their kidneys and adrenals. And that's where the door is. That's where the problem is. And so that has to be fixed. I've tried to design this so we have a better pull, where we're pulling on the kidneys and we're working with the adrenals that turns on the kidneys, and at the same time we're pulling lymphatically. So I'm trying to do that in a rhythmatic manner. But sometimes, even as the way we do is too aggressive, we got to slow up lymphatically. That's okay, because you've got to get through this. And we'll work with you any way possible. Don't freak out. I know you're in pain, so cool yourself down. Get yourself into some salt water. Like I said, you can do some bicarbonate, stay on fruit. Stop the lymphatics if you have to. Stay on the kidneys and the adrenals, though. That's really where the door is, and you should be okay there. If not, just call. We'll work you through this. But that's what you have to do. You stop the herbs for a while. Yeah, that gave swollen. Yeah, the lymph node. See where it gave you swollen glands? Because it's a strong formula at moving lymph if lymph's moving. And that's the problem with cystic acne and all these problems, that lymph isn't moving well, and you're just a good case for that. Don't get discouraged, man. I'm telling you, because there's no other doorway for you. So don't get discouraged. This other comment, I'm just adding this real quick. It's our lunch period here, but it's high blood pressure. High blood pressure, and I've talked about this several times. High blood pressure is kidneys and adrenals. Kidneys primarily popping up the adrenals. The adrenals is the systolic, the kidneys are the diastolic. Check blood pressure both arms. Different blood pressure each side of the body depending upon the weakness of the kidneys. I just had a cancer case in here. He was 80/40. Tell me that kidney's hardly working. 80/40. Cancer all through him. Of course, he's doing chemo and stuff, so that can be very problematic for that boy. These people rarely come out of it. So, real serious weaknesses we have, and a lot of people don't understand the kidney connection to this lymph system, but more and more people are, like you guys, so I'm real proud of you that way. Just don't get discouraged. Swinging blood pressure is always the cerebellum here. Swinging. That's tied neurologically, that is lymph pressure in the cerebellum. This, I would say, is probably more difficult to remedy in a fast manner, in the sense that you got to drain lymph down that neck, down the back, and out the kidneys. And you got to get those kidneys working. Steady high blood pressure, always kidneys. Always, always, always. So when you start going on raw and you start moving the lymph and you're moving the kidneys, because this raw foods helps to invigorate the kidneys. Now, fruits, berries, and melons are incredible kidney invigorators. So it invigorates the kidneys. It helps the kidneys to filter, increases the adrenal gland function, increases neurological function, because the fruits lend its energy, and it has the highest energy of all foods. It lends its energy to your nervous system better than anything else. So it helps to get the kidneys to moving and filtering, and therefore you find blood pressure dropping quite quickly in most cases. Once in a while we get a stubborn case, but certainly if you're on high blood pressure, I would recommend the cayenne garlic formula. There's a little bit of organic cayenne in there that dilates the vascular system, kind of like niacin does. You could use it in a niacinamide, which is a buffered niacin, to dilate a little bit. But the reality is not blood. The reality, this is a kidney problem. and that's mainly lymphatics. It definitely touches blood, no question about it. So work on the kidneys and the adrenals, move those lymphs, because if it's a swinging, remember it's back here, and if it's a steady high blood pressure, it's your kidneys. And the kidneys will always influence the adrenals. So your systolic will always be higher when the kidneys are inflamed or swollen or acidic, as I like to say. But in reality, this is a low blood pressure case. You're going to find low adrenal function here. Once you see the blood pressure coming down, it's going to come down, come down, come down, and your systolic is going to go low. Your diastolic should stop between 60 and 70. Textbook blood pressure, both sides, 120 over 60. Not 80, 120 over 60. Textbook. Anything lower systolically, low blood pressure, weak adrenal glands. And you can't gauge that until you detoxify for a while, where you're bringing the stance or the magnetics of the body to the genetics, because most people are highly acidic, and acids are stimulants, proteins are stimulants, and so in an acid environment, everything is hyperactive. And so even though there's hypoactivity in that same thing, it's like this thing about tachycardia, PTOS, or POTS. Same thing. You know, acidosis always hyperstimulates everything. And so it destroys the myelin sheaths. It just hyperstimulates everything and makes things hypo. Sometimes the tachycardia is due to hypoactivity. You have to understand that. The thyroid there's a lot of reasons the body's heart rate goes up. Not in a tachycardia where you're above 100 or 150, but in a higher heart rate, sometimes the body has to move blood around faster to oxygenate the body quicker. There's a lot of factors of why the body does what it does, so I don't try to intervene with that way, in the sense that, like someone wrote, they had a person that detoxified, and of course it brought the POTS to normal. But in reality, that's all that it is. You strengthen and you clean, and there isn't anything, whether it's mediated or POTS or whatever you're dealing with, the neurological system, the liver, the lungs, it just does not matter. If it deals with serotonins, neurotransmitters, it just does not matter. If it's the pituitary that controls everything, it does not matter. These are all still a bunch of cells and two major fluids. And the problem is 99% always in the lymph system. That's the acid system, and acids are always seems to be at the core of this artificial stimulation or innervation. Either one, both of them have the same effect on tissue. So I have to run now, but I will try to I got a load of questions now, so I'll try to get to them, guys, as the best I can and as soon as I can. Kind of in a hurry today, but I appreciate that. And listen, street magic, relax, slow down, cool yourself down, get yourself some saltwater baths, and back this down, and it will back down. Even sometimes on raw foods, you'll get the accelerated skin rashes and stuff, and of course all the pain in the cysts and stuff. You can do that just in the raw foods, but if you have to, you go slower. That's all I can tell you. Sometimes the herbs are too aggressive. The kidney herbs are not going to be aggressive in that way, and neither are the adrenal gland herbs. The lymphatic herbs, those are the boys. They're aggressive. They're astringent. They pull on your lymph system. It's okay to pull on your lymph system if your kidneys are filtering, and that just showed you and me that your kidneys are not filtering worth a poop. So you got to get your kidneys up, and you'll be all right, man. So hang in there. Don't get discouraged. And you can call in when you're a serious case like this and you're in pain and trouble. Call in here, guys. All right? Well, even though we're busy a lot here and staff, we'll get you. We'll get you. Hang in there. Don't freak out. All right. Thank you so much, and talk to you all later. Thank you. God bless all. Love you all.